Hey, what is up guys, it's Rob. Hope you're doing really good out there, as ever. So today I'm going to be talking about the new Sonicake Tone Group pedal. This is an EQ pedal. So I've been kind of thinking, there's not really that much to demonstrate with an EQ pedal because it's just an EQ pedal. All it does, it's just designed to shape your tone just in the same way that you would tweak your amp settings, to get the sort of sound that you want. That is basically this in pedal form. So I just thought the main thing to make a video about would be to talk about why this would be a necessary pedal. Do you need an EQ pedal? So I have already plugged this pedal in, obviously, to test it, and I've tweaked the settings and things like that, and it's an EQ pedal. It operates just like an EQ pedal should. Anyway, the main thing that I've thought about is I've thought of 3 reasons why I and therefore you might potentially need an EQ pedal. So let's get right into it. So reason number 1 I've already talked about, which is just the main function of the pedal. That is just to be able to shape your tone for whatever you need. If you've got a very bassy tone, then we're going to take some of the low end out. If we've got a very trebly high sharp tone, we're going to take some of the highs out, and it's just about being able to use your ears to be able to sort of hear what needs tweaking, and you can do all of that with this pedal. This pedal can go in front of all your pedals and everything like that, or in front of your amp, and it can also go after it as well. If I was going to use this, I would use this on my pedal board and it would be right at the very end, so this is shaping what goes into the PA because I don't use an amp. My pedal board just goes straight direct into our PA system and stuff like that, and I'd want this to sort of be controlling my overall sound. So that's how I would use this. So if you're new to EQ and you're still learning about it and everything like that and how to actually apply it, just look at the line here, and from left to right we've basically got lows, mids and highs, and it's just about tweaking these little switches up and down to either boost or reduce. The thing I like about this particular pedal is that it can be very, very specific. You can just literally move one of these sliders up and it's not going to interfere with any of the others, so you can get a really, really precise EQ on your tone just by moving just the one or ones that you want. So if I had a really sharp tone, a really bright tone, and I wanted to reduce that just a little bit, let's just say it's a little bit ear piercing, I might just want to bring down the highs a little bit and play about with those till I get a sort of sound that I like. Whereas the opposite scale is if I've got a very bassy tone, I would take some of the lows out there to reduce some of that bass and make the tone a little bit more listenable, or to make it sit more in the mix of whatever I'm doing, whether it's playing with a band or doing some recording and I don't want the guitars to clash with the bass or anything like that. I might take some of the bass out of the tone there, just bring the lows down so that I sit better in the mix. So I've got the Tone Group pedal plugged in, it's on my pedal board just on the floor in front of me. I've got my Harley Benton Telecaster guitar plugged directly into my pedal board, which is plugged directly into my laptop recording it. And this is the tone that I've got without the Tone Group. Just a generic sort of tone that I would use for gigs. The reason I've picked this guitar is because Telecasters are known for having quite a harsh, not necessarily harsh, but quite a trebly sort of tone, and this one definitely does. Got quite a brightness to it. So if I kick the tone pedal on now, the Tone Group, sorry, firstly we're not going to hear any difference. Sounds exactly the same, but the pedal is on. So if I want to take away some of that brightness, some of that harshness, I keep saying harshness, I don't mean it, but some of that sort of top end, that little bit of a sharp edge, I can just take that off just with the Tone Group, just by rolling off some of the highs. And if I bring them right down, just to be quite extreme with it, if I turn the pedal off, I think that sounds quite nice, and it might sort of just fit for whatever I'm doing. If I can turn it off again, that's without it, and that's with it. And I can do the complete opposite of that. I can take all of the bass out if I want to. So let's be quite extreme with that one as well, just to demonstrate it. If I take all the low end out with this pedal, suddenly it now sounds like this. Obviously that's with the pedal. Without. That's quite an extreme example of the sound of this pedal or what it does. So reason number 2 is quite interesting because it's quite similar to reason number 1. It's talking about the function of the pedal, but not necessarily just that. Reason number 2 is focusing more on where that would be applicable or where you would actually use that. And for me, I play in a function band. I play a lot of weddings, parties. I've said this a lot on my channel lately. And if you think about that, every gig that I play from venue to venue is very, very different. I could be playing a marquee, a tent, a manor house, a barn, a hotel, whatever it is, it's going to be very different from gig to gig. So therefore, my sound is going to be extremely inconsistent. So from gig to gig, I'm really going to want to be able to shape my sound and try and make it as consistent as possible, and this would help me do that. If I'm going to play a place which has got a lot of stone or a lot of kind of shiny surfaces and, you know, hard surfaces for sound to bounce off and things like that, other than it being very reverby, I want to sort of maybe bring some of the sharpness down on the tone because it might be a little bit harsh on the ears. Or if I play a marquee or something like that, sometimes the sound is a little bit muddy in that because it's just basically a big cloth, a big tent, and the sound is just constantly being absorbed by everything around me. So I might want to play about with the EQ to get a nice, better tone for it to sort of really burst out in the mix and things like that. So that's reason number 2, is again talking about the function, but where that would be applicable. It might really depend on where you intend to play and where you intend to use this. My third reason is pretty cool because I don't know if this is specific to this pedal or EQ pedals in general, but we have 10 switches here which actually help us alter the tone and stuff like that, like I've previously mentioned. But there is an 11th switch on the end here, which is a level, which basically means that this can control the overall output of either our whole sound, if you want to use this potentially as a boost to go louder all of a sudden, or if you have this sitting in front of your pedals, this can control the actual overall signal level of your guitar going into the pedals and everything like that. So it's basically a boost pedal as well. So you can kind of turn this up, and then suddenly when you kick this on, you're going to be a lot louder because it's kind of giving that little boost that you need. Or you can reduce it in exactly the same way. So it's a boost. There's a level boost on the end of it, and I think that's an awesome feature for this pedal to have, as well as obviously the EQ functionality. And if we take a look at that boost feature, I can play some guitar now. And this is with a flat EQ at the moment. I've not actually done anything with the EQ yet. I've put it back to 0, but the level switch is also at 0, and I can either boost it up or bring it down. So if I bring it up, suddenly you will hear my guitar get a lot louder. If I turn the pedal off, and then boost it. And similarly, I can actually do the opposite, and I can bring it down so that when I'm playing the pedal normally, that's without it, and then when I kick the pedal on, it's bringing my volume down as well. So there you go, there's a quick look at the brand new Sonicake Tone Group pedal, an EQ pedal. I think this is great, and I do think this is a useful pedal for a guitar player to have, but it might just depend what you're doing as a guitar player, whether you're gigging, playing at home, who knows. This will just help you get that better grip on your tone and make it sound how you want to. As a pedal, it's about as simple as it gets. We've got the line there for the EQ, one button to turn it on and off, ins and outs on the top, and a power supply there, 9 volt, just to be able to plug it in. That's about it. And you know what? It's a pretty inexpensive pedal. If you're interested in the Sonicake Tone Group pedal, then I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Go and check it out. So I just wanna say a massive thank you to Sonicake for sending me this, as well as the other pedals that they've sent me lately to test out. Feel free to check out some of my other demos of some of the other pedals that they've sent me lately to check out. They've all been pretty awesome. Very impressed with them, so go and check out those videos if you've enjoyed this one. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave it a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. If you're new to my channel, then please don't forget to subscribe. I make lots of guitar and music related content, and hopefully I'll see you next time.